Mary Reyes was halfway through a quiet Wednesday evening when her phone buzzed with an unexpected notification.
Veronica added me to a group called Family Legacy. No, Mary.
The first message from Veronica read, "Now we can finally decide without her interference." Mary's fingers froze above the screen. They had no idea she was reading.
They're planning the inheritance and cutting me out.
Uncle Frank replied seconds later, "We'll finalize everything at the dinner Saturday. No need to tell Mary."
A dinner this Saturday. And I wasn't supposed to know.
Aunt Louise chimed in, asking if they could adjust the narrative about the medical bills. Mary's jaw tightened.
They're building a lie, and I'm looking right at it.
No louder than a long exhale, Mary took a screenshot, then another. She wouldn't type a single word, not yet. Mary scrolled back through the earlier messages, her thumb steady, but her pulse throbbing in her temples. Veronica had written, "The dinner is at Uncle Frank's at 7 on Saturday. After dessert, we'll finalize everything."
They're setting a date to carve up the inheritance, and I wasn't even told.
Another relative agreed. "We all know Mary hasn't contributed a dime. It's only fair."
Even the people I grew up with are writing me off.
Veronica replied with a thumbs up emoji and said, "Don't worry, I'll handle Mary. She won't suspect a thing."
She thinks she can handle me. She has no idea.
Mary saved a final screenshot, then set the phone down on the cushion, the screen darkening.
I'll be at that dinner. I'll wear the cream blouse she hates.
She would walk into the ambush, but she'd be the one carrying the proof. Over the next 2 days, the secret chat buzzed with a quiet, methodical construction of a story Mary barely recognized. Uncle Frank wrote, "We need a clear reason to reconfigure the will, something everyone can agree on."
A reason. He wants a story to justify cutting me out.
Veronica replied, "Remember how she never helped with Mom's medical bills? We can say she refused to contribute."
That's a lie. I paid half of them.
Another relative chimed in, "We'll just say the money came from us. No one will check."
They're braiding a lie together, thread by thread. And I've got the transcripts.
Uncle Frank confirmed, "Good. At the dinner, we'll present it as a collective decision. The paperwork is already prepared." Mary pressed the capture button on each damning line, then opened a folder titled Insurance.
Saturday, they'll try to bury me with their story. I'll come with the truth.
Late Thursday night, another notification cut through the silence. This time, it was a private message. Elena Torres had written, "Mary, I need to tell you something. Veronica added you to the group chat by mistake. They're planning to cut you out."
Elena, the quiet cousin. She's breaking rank.
Mary typed back, "I know, Elena. Thank you for telling me." A rapid reply from Elena, "Can we meet? I have more to share. Tomorrow, Cafe Luna, noon."
She's offering to be my eyes inside their plan.
Mary agreed. She needed every piece of evidence she could get before Saturday. Elena added one more line. "Veronica has been lying to everyone. I can't stay quiet anymore."
An ally. But I'll still stay silent in the chat. Let them think they're safe.
She saved the private thread too, then placed the phone face down on her nightstand. One more day, Mary arrived at Cafe Luna early, ordered 2 coffees, and waited. Elena slipped into the seat across from her, eyes darting to the door.
I couldn't keep it in anymore, Mary. Veronica's the one who started the chat. She pressured everyone.
Of course. Veronica always did know how to rally the troops.
Elena traced the rim of her cup and continued, her voice trembling.
She told us you'd stolen from the family. That you'd been hoarding Grandma's money. That's why they went along.
Stolen. They think I am a thief.
Mary set her cup down, the sound louder than she intended.
Elena, do you know how many times I've bailed Veronica out? Thousands. She's been lying to everyone.
I'll help you, whatever you need. But please, be careful with Veronica. She's not above playing dirty.
Later that evening, Mary's phone lit up with a new group chat notification Veronica had sent. I found the smoking gun. A letter from the caregiver saying Mary never paid. A grainy scan of a handwritten note appeared below the message.
This letter is counterfeit. It's missing the nurse's usual closing phrase.
Uncle Frank quickly wrote, "Excellent. Print copies for everyone. This resolves any doubt."
They're going to wave that fake paper in my face at the dinner.
She pinched the screen to enlarge the handwriting and noticed the loop on the G was wrong.
Veronica must have drafted it herself, probably on Uncle Frank's stationery.
With a few taps, she saved the image and its damning chat context to the evidence folder.
They think they're cornering me. They're just giving me the rope.
Mary's phone vibrated again. This time a private message from Elena. It was a screenshot of a private chat with Veronica's words, "I drafted the caregiver letter myself. Mary will never suspect."
She admitted it outright. That's the confession I needed.
Elena had typed beneath it, "I couldn't just sit by. Don't let them get away with this."
Elena just handed me the key to the entire conspiracy.
Mary added the confession screenshot to the evidence folder, then starred the file for quick access.
When I read this at the dinner, the room will freeze.
She scrolled through the evidence chronologically, choosing the exact sequence that would unravel their story.
I'll start with the chat name, then Frank's orders, then Veronica's forgery admission.
She locked the phone, the weight of the device heavier now with the truth inside. The night before the dinner, Mary sat on the edge of her bed, rehearsing the words she would say.
I have to stay calm. If I sound angry, they'll dismiss me as emotional.
She scrolled through the evidence one last time, each screenshot a piece of a puzzle she hadn't asked to solve.
They never expected me to see this. That's their mistake.
In the kitchen, she charged her phone to full, looping the cable deliberately around the counter.
No turning back after tomorrow. The table will be set, and so will I.
She caught her reflection in the dark window, the cream blouse she would wear hanging over the chair.
Veronica will choke on her smugness when I read her own words back.
Mary set the alarm for early, then lay awake listening to the quiet house. The evidence folder sat in her phone like a coiled spring, ready to snap. Saturday evening, Mary stepped through Uncle Frank's front door with a bottle of wine and a steady smile.
The music is soft, the lighting warm. They've staged this beautifully.
Aunt Louise rushed forward, pressing a cool cheek to Mary's in a practiced greeting.
So glad you could make it, dear. We're all so happy to have you here.
She knows. They all know. And they're playing their parts.
Veronica appeared from the living room, glass already in hand, her smile too wide.
Mary, right on time. We were just talking about you.
Of course you were. I've been reading the minutes.
Elena hovered by the dining table, giving Mary a barely perceptible nod. Mary took her seat, the phone heavy in her pocket, and waited for the second act. As the appetizer plates were cleared, Uncle Frank tapped his fork against his glass with an air of finality, announcing the conversation's shift.
Before dessert, I think we should discuss a few estate matters, for the good of the family.
Here it comes. Right on schedule. Just like the chat promised. Every word mapped out. Of course, Uncle Frank. Whatever you think is fair for all of us, I wouldn't dream of interfering.
To family. The only thing that really matters in this world.
She can't even toast without that smirk. It's like she's posing for a photo, rehearsed.
Elena kept her eyes fixed on her plate, her knuckles white around the fork, not saying a word.
Good. Then we're all in agreement that some adjustments are necessary for the future of the estate.
Adjustments. Such a clean, tidy word for what they're planning to do.
The room held its breath. The clink of a spoon against porcelain was the only reply, a fragile sound in the tense silence. Uncle Frank produced a manila folder from his briefcase, setting it on the table with a deliberate thud.
These records prove Mary never contributed to her grandmother's care. I think we should all see them.
The folder from the chat. Right on cue. I can almost picture the fake letter inside.
He slid it across the polished wood until it stopped before Mary's plate and nodded. Mary lifted the cover, revealing a handwritten note supposedly from the nursing aide.
The loop on the gi is Veronica's. She wrote it on Frank's stationery.
Read it aloud, Mary. We all have copies. It's quite damning.
She's almost giddy. She thinks this paper will bury me. She doesn't know I've been reading every word she typed in that chat.
Frank, perhaps Mary should explain. There are always two sides.
Mary set the letter down, aligning its corners precisely. The room expected her to crumble, but instead she was calculating her next words. Mary traced the letter's edge with a fingertip, then addressed Uncle Frank directly.
Where exactly did this letter come from? Who supplied it?
Veronica's smile flickered, a crack in her composed facade.
It's from the nursing home. The letterhead. It's right there.
Which nursing home? Because the one Grandma stayed at used a different logo entirely.
Uncle Frank interjected, his tone attempting avuncular, but landing on impatient.
Mary, let's not get bogged down in details. The substance of the letter is clear.
Mary flattened her palms on the tablecloth, the letter trapped beneath.
The content, you mean the part where it claims, I never paid a dime? I have bank statements that tell a different story.
The room temperature seemed to drop several degrees. Veronica's wineglass halted midair. Mary pushed her chair back with a quiet scrape and murmured an excuse about freshening up. In the small guest bathroom, she locked the door and finally drew the phone from her pocket. She thumbed to the evidence folder and opened the starred image. Veronica's private confession. I drafted the caregiver letter myself. Mary will never suspect.
I am about to burn every bridge they've built.
She ran the tap for a moment, then faced her reflection. Calm, deliberate, unblinking. She slipped the phone back into her pocket and unlatched the door. Every eye at the table tracked her as she walked back to her seat.
They're waiting for me to break. They'll be waiting a long time.
She settled into her chair, hands folded, and let the silence stretch a moment longer than comfortable. Uncle Frank cleared his throat sharply, attempting to reclaim the room's attention.
It's obvious Mary wasn't committed to Mother. After careful deliberation, we've decided on a fair distribution.
Decided, based on what exactly? That letter. I'd like to see the original.
A muscle twitched near Veronica's temple, her earlier smugness dissolving into something tighter.
The letter is clear, Mary. This isn't a debate. The family has already agreed.
The family. Or a select few who thought I wasn't listening.
She drew her phone from her pocket and set it face up on the table. The dark screen pointed toward the center.
She's bluffing. There's nothing on that phone that can touch me. She has no idea.
One tap, and they'll see exactly what they've been hiding.
The table fell silent. Every pair of eyes fixed on the motionless device as if it might detonate.
You always make everything about you, Mary. This is exactly why the family needs a clear decision.
Interesting. Because I have evidence that suggests it's not about me at all. It's about you.
Mary unlocked the phone with a single tap and angled the screen toward her sister alone. Veronica's face drained of color so fast it looked like a shutter dropping.
She has the chat. She has everything.
She tried to speak, but her throat closed around the words. The others stared, confused.
Veronica? Veronica, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Only the truth, Veronica. And it's uglier than any ghost. Now, they'll all see.
Mary, what have you shown her? Stop this nonsense and explain yourself.
That was just a preview. Now, I think everyone deserves to hear the full story. Read aloud.
Mary lifted her phone, screen glowing faintly, and held it so every relative at the table could see the evidence she was about to recite.
You planned all this behind my back. You even made a group chat without me, obviously.
Aunt Louise's hand flew to her mouth, a sharp gasp cutting through the tense air.
That's absurd. There's no such thing. You are making this up.
No, it's called Family Legacy. No Mary. I was added by mistake. So I read every line.
The room froze. Several relatives exchanged panicked glances, their carefully constructed story crumbling.
Veronica, you said this was just a family discussion. You never said she was in it.
Veronica stayed silent, her face still ashen, unable to form a rebuttal. Uncle Frank looked around the table, seeing the guilt on every face, and his confidence cracked. The silence that followed was heavier than any words could have been, and Mary let it settle.
And in that chat, Veronica, you called me a liar. You told everyone I never helped with Grandma's medical bills.
She scrolled her thumb across the screen, the faint click of the phone's haptic feedback the only sound in the frozen room.
You even said you had proof. A letter. But you wrote it yourself, didn't you, Veronica?
Veronica lunged forward abruptly, her chair scraping violently against the hardwood floor, hand outstretched for the device. Mary pulled the phone back smoothly, holding it just beyond her sister's desperate reach.
Sit down, Veronica. Everyone here is going to hear every single word.
Uncle Frank half rose from his seat, his face contorting between disbelief and alarm.
Veronica, what is she talking about? Did you forge that letter? Tell me the truth.
Veronica's lips moved, but no sound came out. Her eyes were wide, fixed on the screen in mute terror. Mary tapped the start image and, with a steady voice, began to read aloud the message that would unravel everything.
I made the letter myself. She'll never know. As long as Frank backs it, we can cut her out entirely.
She held the screen aloft, the crisp letters of Veronica's confession glowing for everyone to see. Veronica collapsed forward, sobbing into her hands, the polished composure shattered beyond repair.
You used me, Veronica. You told me that was an official document. I practically raised you, and this is how you repay me.
Frank, I had no idea. She told me Mary had stolen money. I never would have agreed otherwise.
Now you know. The real thief isn't me.
The other relatives shifted in their seats, eyes darting between Mary's stillness and Veronica's trembling form.
It wasn't supposed to happen like this. You were supposed to just go away.
Get out of my house, Veronica. We'll discuss consequences tomorrow.
Elena caught Mary's eye and gave a single tiny nod, the solidarity of someone who had chosen the truth.
Mary, I am so sorry. I never wanted any of this. Veronica told me she had proof, real proof.
I warned Mary as soon as I saw the chat. I couldn't be part of this for another second.
I should have known better. I am sorry, Mary. You deserved better from all of us.
Mary rose slowly, the legs of her chair whispering against the floor. She wasn't just leaving, she was drawing a line.
From now on, the estate will be settled fairly with a lawyer. No more secret chats, no more lies. This family doesn't get to decide my future in backroom whispers. That ends tonight.
The table was a portrait of guilt. Heads low, hands motionless. The earlier arrogance dissolved into nothing.
I'll get the real medical records if you need them, Mary. We'll make sure the truth is airtight.
Do whatever you need to do. I won't stand in your way. I've been foolish enough for one lifetime.
Good. I'll be in touch with the lawyer's details. For now, I am going home.
Mary turned without another glance, her heels clicking across the hardwood toward the front door. Veronica's voice cracked behind her. You'll regret this. But the words met a closing door. Elena hurried after her, reaching Mary at the threshold.
Mary, wait, please. I can walk you out.
Thank you, Elena, for everything, but I need to be alone right now.
Elena nodded, stepping aside as Mary pulled open the door to the cool night air. Outside, the street was silent. Mary walked to her car, phone glowing softly. She slid into the driver's seat, closed the door, and sat a moment before starting the engine. The engine hummed. She glanced at the house once, then pulled away without looking back. In the rearview mirror, the porch light shrank, the evening's weight already lifting. Later that night, Mary sat in her living room, the only light a soft lamp beside the couch. Her phone buzzed. A message from Elena. You were brave. I am sorry for everything.
Elena kept her word through all of this. She's the only one who did.
Mary typed a brief reply, then set the phone face down on the end table. She leaned back, and looked toward the window, the city lights distant and still.
The weight of the evening is finally shifting. I can feel it lifting.
The screen remained dark now. No more notifications from the group chat she'd never asked for. She watched the window a while longer, the tension in her shoulders slowly unraveling. A faint, quiet smile touched her lips. Not victory, just peace settling in at last. It was over. Not the family's reckoning, but her own silent war, and she had won. On the end table, her phone stayed dark, the screen showing nothing but a faint reflection of the lamp. No more messages, no more secret plans. The silence was its own kind of reply. Mary watched it for a long moment, her expression unreadable but calm. Then she looked up, her eyes carrying a quiet, hard-won stillness. Her family had planned her exit, but she was the one who walked out and left them behind. The camera held on her face, the lines of tension finally smoothed by the quiet hour. Outside the window, the city lights blurred into a soft, distant constellation. Inside, Mary Reyes allowed herself one long, cleansing breath. And then, in the small, quiet hours, she let the world go on without her for a while.